More than 10 people have been killed and several others injured by extortion rackets targeting housing projects in the city. Wendy Kloppers, who worked in the city's Environmental Affairs Department, was gunned down while conducting a site visit at Symphony Way housing project in Delft 2 weeks ago. The city says 4 housing projects have been affected by an alleged syndicate that threaten and intimidate contractors.
In Atlantis, some individuals have made threats, and what is so problematic is that some of these individuals camouflage themselves as subcontractors. They come out as if they are subcontractors who are demanding some work from the main contractor, but also they coming in as business forums, that they coming to engage the contractor in order for them to get housing opportunities or construction opportunities. So they're in different forms, but we will keep on engaging not only the contractors but also the community members whom we're urging to assist us in this particular regard.
The Delft Symphony Way project was targeted by petrol bombing and shooting incidents a week before the officials' murder.
On a daily basis, and maybe while you're still standing here, you'll hear some shooting taking place, because that happens on a daily basis. So this has become the new norm in Delft with regards to shooting, with regards to murders, with regards to bodies being dumped, with regards to construction mafia trying to get their finger in every pie, with regards to extortion. All those little businesses standing on the streets, those just trying to put food on the table, they get taxed on a daily basis as well. So Delft, at the moment, the environment in Delft is not good enough for businesses to thrive, and it's not good enough for young people to grow up in as well.
The city says there's a 6-point plan in place to help reduce the incidence of violence, criminality, and extortion at the housing projects. Construction at the multi-million rand housing project in Delft for more than 3,000 beneficiaries has been halted.
On the 11th of February, 2023, at exactly 11:30 a.m., in the small township of Delft, located about 22 minutes away from the Cape Town city center, a white BMW sedan arrives at the entrance of the Delft Symphony Way housing project, a construction site that was building RDP houses for lower-class individuals. Inside the white sedan were 2 individuals, 49-year-old Wendy Kloppers and her co-worker. Wendy Kloppers worked as a regional air quality practitioner for the Cape Town Environmental Affairs Department, and like any other morning, she was doing her regular inspection of the site. After Wendy's car pulled up at the site's gate, the security guard gave her a register to sign and then began opening the gate for her. As she was about to enter the site, a white car pulled up behind Wendy's BMW sedan. 2 men who were carrying guns got out, walked towards her car, and they shot at her more than 15 times before fleeing. After being shot at, Wendy's feet then hit the car's accelerator, and it crashed into the site's fence. The South African Police Service would arrive a few moments later. They found Wendy Kloppers' body still inside her vehicle, along with her co-worker, on the corner of Margulies and Mandara streets at the N2 gateway. She has sustained multiple gunshot wounds and was declared dead on the scene. Her co-worker was taken to a nearby hospital for medical treatment. She was shot in the arm, and she survived. The construction which was happening at the site was immediately stopped following the shooting, while police combed the site for leads. Jordan Hell Lewis, who is the mayor of Cape Town, would come out and offer a 100,000 rand reward for information that would help successfully find and prosecute those who were responsible for Wendy's murder. He also offered rewards of 5,000 rands for information leading to arrests of anyone who was targeting the city housing projects with extortion and violence. A private donor would also come forward with more funds and offered a 1 million rand reward for information leading to the arrest of the people who murdered Wendy. According to her family, Wendy Kloppers, who was a mother of 2, had been working for the city of Cape Town for more than 20 years. They believed that her murder was likely a case of mistaken identity, saying that she was at the wrong place, at the wrong time. The city of Cape Town also believed that Wendy's murder was linked to the infamous Extortion Mafia, an organization which was causing terror and chaos in the city and the surrounding areas. Lingelo Bandizeo, who is the Cape Town city manager, would come out and say that Wendy Kloppers was killed after the city had refused to yield to the demands of the mafia. He further said that at the time of her murder, the Symphony Way housing project site was already under pressure from gangs who had tried to extort the contractor. It is alleged that the extortionists demanded a percentage of the work on the project while refusing to follow the competitive process. Now, the Symphony Way housing project is said to be the Western Cape's largest social housing program. Its aim was to build RDP houses for over 3,200 families. These houses were being built for families who came from impoverished areas such as Blikkiesdorp, Malawi Camp, and Freedom Farm. The development was being undertaken by the state-owned airports company South Africa, together with the city of Cape Town. The project was expected to cost at least 500 million rands when completed. The construction of the project started in April 2022, and it was estimated to be finished in November 2026. Work was however stopped for months at the project after Wendy was murdered. This led to attacks on security staff at the site, who were too scared to return to work. The city has also added an additional 40 million rand for security at the site, through working with the Western Cape Infrastructure Department. With that money, the mayor of Cape Town said that an extra 190 houses could have been built if they didn't have to spend it on protecting the site. Towards the end of 2023, the Cape Town city manager revealed that the city was conducting an intense investigation into ongoing extortion done by Cape Town drug-dealing gangs. This led to the municipality blacklisting 12 companies which were in the Western Cape. These companies were said to be affiliated to a lady named Nicole Johnson. Nicole Johnson is apparently the wife of the alleged general of the 28th Numbers gang, Ralph Stanfied. The investigation had also uncovered links between Human Settlements Department officials with various companies either run by Johnson or closely affiliated to her.
Malusi Boy worked as a councillor for the Democratic Alliance before he was appointed as a member of the Mayoral Committee for Human Settlements in 2018. His responsibilities include provision of housing opportunities to indigent people, upgrading informal settlements, and creating a path to sustainable urban housing development. He has been placed under interim suspension following a raid by SAPS Commercial Crime Unit investigating allegations of fraud and tender irregularities.
There's still a long way to go. There's no charges or anything as yet, but that it is a serious matter relating to alleged fraud and corruption in human settlements. And so I have to, of course, take that very seriously. My primary responsibility is to protect our government, to protect the integrity of our government in Cape Town. And so I will never compromise on that, act immediately to protect that. And so I have placed him on suspension immediately.
On the 15th of March 2023, the South African Police's Commercial Crimes Unit raided the offices of a man named Malusi Boy, who at that time was the Western Cape's Human Settlements Mayoral Committee member. The South African Police accused Boy of serious crimes which related to fraud and corruption. Although he was not arrested during the raid, the police seized his electronic devices and also documents which belonged to his office. Among the allegations against him are that he accepted cash from gang members in exchange for information about housing tenders. The police also accused him of having sketchy relationships with gangsters from Bishop Lavis, an area which is controlled by the 28th Numbers gang. According to the police, on the day that Malusi Boy's office was raided, it's alleged that he received gratification in the form of cash, and that these cash payments were paid by notorious gangsters involved in the Cape Town criminal underworld. These payments were for him to give the gangsters information regarding the city's tenders in the Human Settlements Department. It's alleged that Boy would send members of his staff to a house in Bishop Lavis, which was owned by a suspected gang member, where they would fetch an amount of cash between 20,000 rands to 100,000 rands. This cash was said to be deposited into the bank account of his personal assistant, who he then instructed via WhatsApp which of his expenses should be paid with it. After the police raided his office, Boy was suspended from the mayoral committee and then later fired from the job.
There is something that is untoward there's somebody who is targeting me. We want to see who's behind this, because my sense is that there's someone behind this. It can't be a coincidence. When I read one of the articles, it says an investigation started in 2019. I started in December 2018. So who is this person that has been sitting and putting a surveillance over me or over the directorate? The contracts that are being referred to, I found them when I occupied the position. I don't participate on any process of supply chain, from advertising up to award. There is no way that I can influence any supply chain process towards anybody. Now, I will wait for allegations to be presented before court. This particular contract that keeps on being referred to is not even a contract that was awarded by the city of Cape Town. It's a provincial human settlements contract. So that arrest has not happened. No allegations have they put or being charged, have not been formally charged at this particular point. And that's all I'm asking for is justice. I'm asking for fairness so that I can be able to have my life back. And if there are serious allegations, they must be taken to court so that we can be able to ventilate them and be able to come to a conclusion at the end of the day.
Nicole Johnson and Ralph Stanfied are currently in prison after they were arrested by the Western Cape Anti-Gang Unit in September 2023. They were arrested on a number of charges, which are connected to an assassination attempt on someone who used to work for them. After the city manager launched their investigation into the several companies affiliated with Stanfield's wife Nicole, he made the decision to stop all tenders and instead give each company a more thorough examination. The city didn't reveal how they uncovered the list of companies, however they confirmed that all of them were in fact being run by Nicole Johnson. The city manager would then write to each of the companies, showing their involvement with Johnson, and questioned why the city is making multi-million rand deals and doing business with them. On the 24th of June, 2024, the South African police managed to make a breakthrough in their investigation in the murder of Wendy Kloppers. A 40-year-old man named Warren Darren handed himself over to the police after being pursued by the Western Cape Organized Crime Investigation Unit. Darren was charged with the murder of Wendy and the attempted murder of her colleague. On the 25th of June, a day after his arrest, Darren appeared at the Cape Town Magistrates Court. However, he wasn't the only one who appeared in court that day. He appeared alongside 13 other accused, and they were all facing 30 counts of criminal charges. Two of those 13 accused, who appeared with Darren Warren at the Magistrates Court on the 25th of June, were Ralph Stanfied and Nicole Johnson. According to the state, the group was part of a criminal organization known as The Firm, an organization which is alleged to have had strong ties to the 28th Numbers gang. Ralph Stanfied and his wife Nicole Johnson were arrested on the 28th of September 2023 at their multi-million rand mansion in the upmarket suburb of Constantia in Cape Town. They were arrested on charges of car theft, assault, robbery, and fraud. Stanfied was also charged with the possession of an unlicensed gun and ammunitions because as he was getting arrested, he was found with a firearm without a valid license. They first appeared at the Cape Town Magistrates Court on the 2nd of October, a week after their arrest. They appeared along with 3 other individuals, named Denver Boyson, Johannes Abrahams, and also a man named Ose Brandt, who is known in the streets of Cape Town as Macab. During their appearance in court, the National Police Commissioner, along with the former Minister of Police, were in attendance. They arrived with a dozen police officers as their security, and they sat in the courtroom as Stanfied and Nicole made their way into the dock. There were several more police officers who were stationed outside the court building. As the court proceedings started, the state alleged that Stanfied and Nicole were also facing an attempted murder charge. Stanfied went on to deny all the allegations made against him and his wife. He further explained to the court that he was born and raised in the township of Mitchell's Plain, where he started his first business, running a feeding scheme. Now, he said, his primary business is in construction, and by doing that, he earns an average of 40,000 rands a month. His wife Nicole, on the other hand, told the court that he had completed her high school in 2005 and she was in her third year of studying towards a law degree at the University of South Africa. She also told the court that she was running 2 beauty store franchises, which are named Sorby. One was in the Cape Town suburb of Greenpoint and the other one was at the Canal Walk shopping mall. She also owned a petrol station together with her husband Stanfield. She further stated that her average monthly income from these businesses was about 97,000 rand. The charges that Stanfield was facing relate to the theft of a 2017 BMW 320i and also the robbery of a Samsung cell phone. The BMW allegedly belonged to an individual who once worked for Ralph Stanfied and is the state witness for the case. The individual's partner had apparently bought the vehicle for him back in 2019. According to the state, it is alleged that on the 24th of November 2022, the state witness was driving the BMW and he was on his way to drop his partner off at her place of work. On his way there, he received a call from his co-worker. His co-worker told him that he must not come to work that day because Ralph Stanfield wanted to kill him. After getting the call, he drove to a friend's house, fearing for his life. However, believing that Ralph Stanfield would be able to trace the vehicle through a tracking system, he decided to park the vehicle at a security complex in Milnerton, a suburb in Cape Town, and he left the car there. According to the police, he went into hiding soon after that. A few hours later, it is alleged that Ralph Stanfied and Nicole Johnson arrived at the complex, accompanied by a group of men. It was there that they removed the BMW with a tow truck. A security manager, who was working at the complex at that time, would then instruct his supervisor to call the police because Stanfield and Nicole had allegedly forced their way onto the premises. The police arrived a few moments later, and after speaking to Nicole, they gave permission for the vehicle to be towed away. According to the state, the police later seized the BMW 7 months later, on the 15th of June 2023. The police found the car at a home in Valhalla Park, a Cape Town suburb, which is known for being a territory of the 28 Numbers gang, commanded by Ralph Stanfield. The state alleges that on the day Ralph Stanfield and Nicole towed away the BMW, another state witness in the case overheard Ralph Stanfield asking a man named Simon Stanfield if he hasn't heard anything about the owner of the car. The witness also heard Stanfield tell Simon that there was no hope for the owner of the car and that he should finish him off. Simon Stanfield is said to be Ralph Stanfield's blood cousin. Simon Stanfield was unfortunately killed on the 13th of March 2023 in the township of Delft, near Blikkiesdorp. He was shot several times while sitting in his car. Simon wasn't the only family member of Ralph Stanfield to be murdered that year alone. On the 4th of November 2023, a man named Near Stanfield Stevenus was also killed in a shooting in the township of Valhalla Park, which is located about 10 kilometers away from where Simon was killed. According to reports, Near Stevenus is said to be Ralph Stanfield's cousin. It was reported that both the hits on Simon and Stevenus were a result of an ongoing war, which was happening between Ralph Stanfield and Jerome Donkey Boyson. This is because 2 of Boyson's sons, Joel and Janino, were wounded in a targeted shooting in May and June the same year. Ralph Stanfield and Nicole Johnson were also facing an attempted murder charge when they appeared at the Cape Town Magistrates Court. This charge also involved the owner of the BMW, which they had towed away at the security complex in Milnerton. The owner of the car was still in hiding during Stanfield's court appearance, mainly because there was an attempted hit on his life.
I think it's very clear that the magistrate felt it fit to conjoin cases. I think it speaks to the murder being the center of it, but as part of a broader stream of investigations and prosecutions that are linked to the construction mafia. Let us make no mistake that the murder that took place on Delft Access Symphony Way and these broad investigations are part of one singular thing. An attempt to capture human settlements and construction in Cape Town. And so we are not going to allow the death of Wendy to be in vain. We are going to be here as part of this process to fight for justice, but more importantly, to show that we are going to complete the Delft Access Symphony Housing project, because at the end of the day, that's what these people and these individuals involved wanted to stop.